Hello my loves, I hope you're all keeping really safe out there. I'm hoping today's video is going to be a welcome distraction from the madness that's going on in the world. I absolutely love the eyes from today's look, so if you want to see me go from the first clip where my skin was looking extremely dusty, please don't mind that, to a little bit of this. This is from a couple of weeks ago, then definitely keep on watching. Not that any of us are going anywhere, but yeah. I'm gonna start by prepping my lips with this lip rehab from Grwm. Glossy, a little bit sticky, doesn't really hydrate too much but looks really nice on the lips, and it's really affordable. Follow with the Ren anti-pollution skin mist. This is so nice. It kind of gives me like a spa vibe, you know, after your treatment when you just leave feeling super zen. That's the vibe this gives me. And of course I had to use my Glossier Future G. You guys know this is my obsession. I love the way my skin looks after I use this. When you put on your serums and your oils, how your skin first looks, this is how it makes your skin look throughout the day and even under your makeup. Following with my favourite foundation probably ever. This is a NARS Natural Longwear Radiant in Macao. I just pumped this all over my skin. I'm going to show you guys real quick in a second how this foundation applies with a different brush, because I get a lot of questions about covering blemishes, and I think this brush is so excellent. It's really affordable and it does a really good job of really packing that product on and covering any blemishes or dark marks you may have. On the other side, I'm going to use the same foundation, but I use a random brush. It's not a random brush, it's actually a NARS brush. And I just wanted to show you guys, I don't think you can see as much on camera, but the coverage is definitely a little bit sheerer. As you can see, that brush, the bristles are longer and they're not as tightly packed, so it applies the product in a much different way. A little comparison for you guys. And then concealer, I'm using the Beauty Blender Bounce Concealer. I will leave the shades I used down below. I went ham with this. I'm not entirely sure why. I really didn't need that much under my eyes, but you know how it goes when you get a new product. It's like a new toy, you just really want to play with it. Contour, of course, I'm using my Iconic London Icon Stick in 5.1. I always get this wrong, but I'll leave the exact number down in the description bar, along with all the links where you can just go straight ahead to the website and purchase. Smashbox buffer brush. I love this foundation, but actually in recent times I've been loving this to blend out my contour. It does such a beautiful job of really buffing out that product so it applies seamlessly onto the skin. And with contour, I apply it on my forehead just above my cheekbones, so when I blend it out it falls into the hollows of my cheek, and also just on my jaw and a little bit under my chin. I like a really chiseled look. Fortunately, I have quite high cheekbones anyway, so this is more just accentuate what I already have. But having said that, I still go ridiculously heavy and I probably don't need to half the time. For the under eyes, I'm first blending out with this Bare Minerals diffuser brush. This is really good for under eyes. I like to use a combination of brushes and also sponges. I'm just a beauty blender babe, like that is my thing. So I'll use these brushes first just to really blend it out. This Bare Minerals brush particularly does such a good job with wet and dry products. It's really good. And then I also follow along with my Smashbox concealer buffer. You guys have seen me use this so many times. I love this for liquids, really good. And I don't know what it is, but even when I blend everything out on my face with brushes, I like to always follow with a beauty blender. I like the last contact between the tools and my face to be a blender. It blends products so seamlessly. And then also showing you guys how I blend out my contour. I'm just using this E3 brush from Morphe. With the contour, I don't like to do anything too structured. I prefer my nose contour to be really blown out. The only reason I really do a nose contour is because I don't have much of a bridge, so I just want to create some shadows on either side of my nose, just so the center of my face isn't blended into one essentially. So I just make it, I really do more of a blown out vibe. And that's why I always work it into my brows, just so it's like one long shadow. And that is the base for you guys. I really enjoyed today's base. To set the under eyes, I'm using Huda Beauty Easy Bake Powder in Blondie. I have been told there is a shade between Blondie and Sugar Cookie because I said I really wanted a shade between those two, so I'll probably purchase once the corona hysteria has died down a little bit. But I really enjoy applying my under eye powder with a damp sponge. I just think it applies so seamlessly. It really is second to none. And then for bronzer, I just use my Anastasia Beverly Hills bronzer in Mahogany. I use a little bit of this just to create some shadows. I like to pat the product in first and then I will go ahead and swipe off any excess. I really prefer doing it this way lately. It just gives me a bit more control. I find that if you go in straight swiping, you just get a little bit carried away. So I like to dab first and then swipe any excess, and I do the same just to all the places that I have contoured. This is more of a bronzing just to add shadow, and then to really go in and chisel. I probably could have skipped this stage to be honest, but to go in and chisel I always go in with my Benefit Toasted Hoola Bronzer. I love this. I think it's so good. Adding this bit in for people always ask about setting my entire face. I tend not to, but if you like, you can go in with a really fluffy brush and some sort of powder. I like to use full coverage powders because full coverage powders are my thing. And then I just dab all the areas that haven't been touched with powder yet, and then I just set that all. Moving on to eyes, I'm using my Anastasia eyeshadow primer. I really like this. I've said before, it's really good. It's kind of my go-to when I want to do a really intense eyeshadow look. I will always, or 9 times out of 10, 9.5 times out of 10, I will opt for the Anastasia eye primer. Some people like to work with a wet base. I am not one of those people. So I set my primer with the Laura Mercier translucent powder. The palette I'm using today is Anastasia Beverly Hills collaboration with Alyssa Edwards. It's a really fun, colourful, vibrant palette. So I wanted to do a reflection of the fun and electricness of the palette on my eyes. So I just go with a shade that's close to my skin tone. That's just going to act as my transition shade. Transition shades are really important, especially for looks like this where you'll notice it's going to be quite a colourful, bold look. You just want to get one colour down first just so that everything else has a base to kind of attach to. I find that when there's already one shade down, it's easier for the other shades to blend in. So I take the pink. With this colour, I start by working it on the outer third of the eye. Placement wise, I like to pat the colour down and then blend, but quite soon after one another. Like, I know some people like to pack and then blend at the end. I like to pack and blend as I go along. So I also do it in stages. So I'll pack first towards quite close to the lash line. I will blend out with my Zoeva 227. That's the brush here with the rose gold and brown handle. And then I will go back in with my Morphe brush, a fluffier brush, just to make sure the edges are nice and soft and seamless before adding then another layer of eyeshadow. And I do that about 2-3 times. I compare both eyes until I am happy. Then I go with my next colour. This is just a purple. This is to add a little bit more depth into the outer corner of the eye. The pink was to kind of lay down the foundation. Now we're building depth. I apply this with my Luxie 231, and again I pack that colour on first and then I slowly start blending out towards the outside and kind of wing it a little bit. So I like to blend with either circular motions or windshield wiper. I kind of rotate between the two. My other eye is already done because I was having a real faff with this. So the easiest way to do this next bit, I find, is to take the white eyeshadow and fill in the front. See how I am blending out the front? This is the Morphe M506. And then I follow into the centre with the same brush of the yellow. That is the easiest way to get this gradient. And I'm going to add a wing because I wanted to do something quite dramatic today. So I added a wing, like a cat eye wing. So I extend it out all the way and then I drag it back in. I kept the clips of me doing the wing liner because I made a mistake and I compared both sides, and I decided to make this side that I'm doing on camera a little bit thicker. And you'll see I dragged that eyeliner right into the inner corner. I don't have a defined tear duct. That's right in the inside of my eye. So I kind of fake it I start first, I do make a little bit of mistake, but I leave that liner there. I'm not really bothered. I was going out for dinner with my friends, so I wasn't too fussed about that. But you can see me doing the inside cat eye. I love the way it makes my eyes look. Love it. And when I do cat eyes like this, add to the intensity, a nice, sharp, clean cut underneath I feel is essential. So I will always follow with concealer, just to really clean up and sharpen up that wing. Even if you feel like the wing looks really good, there is nothing like a nice, sharp concealer under there. It just pulls your face out and gives you a non-surgical facelift. It's really, really effective, honestly. Please try it. I don't have the footage of me setting it, but remember to always set your liquids with powder. Moving on to the brows, I'm using my Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow in dark brown. I'm just going to let you guys watch me do it, but essentially, as always, I feel from the bottom, work my way towards the top, do some fake hairs, and then use the spoolie to brush the product all the way towards the front to give me more of a faded brow. That's just how I like to do my brows. This was a while ago, as I said, a couple of weeks ago, so my brows are more freshly threaded, so you know, it was easier to do them. For lashes, I'm using this pair from Lash Magnet. I will leave it in the description bar, but the style is Soraya. Moving on to lips, I did something quite nude. I will leave all of the products I use in the description bar. I'm in Matte Cork, and then I fill into the centre with Anastasia Beverly Hills. I really want to say Stripped. And then I follow to accentuate my Cupid's bow on the bottom of my lip with MAC Chestnut. This is literally the base for pretty much every nude lip that I do. I take this gloss. This is what I don't remember the name of. I need to double check the name of this because, yeah, it's important, I feel. Then I follow over top, as usual, with my Lime Crime Extra Pop-In lip gloss. I really like this nude lip today. It was like that very, very, you know, that nude that's like mad nude. That's the kind of nude I was going for today, and I love the way it looks. Of course, can't forget a little bit of blush. I use this Format blush from Ofra, and I just apply it using, I believe this is a contour brush actually from Smashbox, but it's really good for blush. And then this is the key. This, as well as the Glossier, is the key to get that glow. It's the What the Dew setting spray from Fenty. Is so good. Literally, in pictures, I will show you a video in a second, your skin just looks so glowy and so radiant. So this is me. I did a little video for you guys. I am standing in front of the flame, but look how glowy my skin looks. This is the outfit I wore. I will link everything down below. It's a cute little look. I absolutely loved it. I detached like 2 parts of my Prada bag, so I just wore it as a shoulder bag, and then the leggings are Zara as per, and then the heels are Topshop. Get a little boomerang there with my friend. There was actually 3 of us, but I only have a boomerang of us 2. And that is the end of today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please, please, please stay safe out there. Make sure you are taking the necessary precautions, and I will see you guys all in my next one. Bye.